Welcome to another episode of the Dabao Show, produced by iCASHH Films and supported by Paraphrase. I'm your host Cash, and the co-host here, BK. Definitely a throwback to say this intro again, because why?
It's been a while. The setup feels foreign all of a sudden.
So if you guys don't know, we started off as a podcast, and then we decided to change the format a bit. I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't getting any views, and we still felt the need to tell stories of the F&B. Hence, we changed the format to what you see mostly now, Days Off. So how do you find the series Days Off so far?
I think it was interesting from a change from our podcast, how it started off as some comments would say, two guys with a mic and just doing a podcast, right? Somewhat famous comment. Cash over, stitch it on later. We kind of did what we wanted to do with the podcast, but it's just, I think podcast is not a material that is widely consumed in Singapore's context at least. So with the change to Days Off, I know we started it out as for fun, for ourselves first, but little did we know that we were going to be interviewing guests after guests after guests to make this content actually quite...
With really good stories as well.
Yeah, guests with good stories, friends who are willing to share with us as well their stories, and it's definitely a huge change. I mean, like, from sitting here doing podcasts, I mean, here we are back again, right? And then like to going outdoor filming in the sun, or like, I mean, I don't do this kind of work.
Yeah.
You do that work. I'm just going around like interviewing people. I mean, obviously we face different challenges such as scheduling, environmental challenges. The heat or the rain in Singapore's context is crazy, and it's such a change in terms of stuff. But it's fun. It's very fun. Like, clearly not how we started, what we thought this was going to be, but we have found something that can be consumed by people more, and I think at least getting out the word.
As much as they are featured on a YouTube video with a couple of views, there are still any regular folk like you and I. And even you and I, we have hopes and dreams. So, just to hear stories from our own peers, or like people who are just regular, you're not celebrities and things like that, to know about your hopes and dreams, it's inspiring.
So what do you think so far? Like, do you have any favorite episodes from the podcast or like Days Off?
For the podcast wise, I think the one that I really enjoyed was the food trend one. We point out quite a few problems we see, things like food carnivals and stuff like that, which I think some people among us, they do feel that way, but it's just never been articulated. And I thought that was one of the nicer videos for the podcast. For Days Off, I think the episode we did with Brian was, as much as it might be the lesser prepared one on our part.
I guess it's our first ever.
It was our first sort of like, it wasn't really the pilot, but it was the first one with the guest. It really kickstarted everything, and then people started to take us a bit more seriously in a sense.
I guess so.
But I think in terms of story, Zhen Long was very, very strong. I do feel that he really presented a raw side of him, but he still retained this like humility as well. Yeah, what about you?
The Chinese New Year was quite fun actually. The snack tier list. I think when it comes down to Days Off, although we're a food channel, right, per se, but we don't specifically focus on just food. There are more stories behind and whatnot. I think we looked a bit on, say, Edis's route to veganism, Kiola's challenge, conversion, and getting to where he is now at the Coop. Even Matt, our most recent episode, there's a lot more that meets the eye sometimes. It's like, although we know each other as friends or like peers, I think sometimes it's easy to forget that like we all have our own individual challenges to get where we are now.
So anything you learn from the guests themselves?
I think there's a lot to learn. Everyone has a different story, so I think like other people may have tried a different way or different route. Obviously it might or might not work for you, but it's also still something for you to learn. I do believe that I learned through some experiences that they have all shared. And I hope our viewers do as well.
I think for me, it's really showing how so many of our guests, right, they all come from very different backgrounds, but they all have that kind of work ethic to really make something that they believe in happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep using the word inspiring, but it's quite... It's very heartwarming to see.
Maybe eye-opening.
Yeah, eye-opening as well, especially for those who really didn't have education. Having an education in F&B is something that we debated on. I think we will have conversation on this in the future, but when you see it as a surface, it's quite heartwarming to see people really work hard to be where they are now.
So how do you feel about the Dabao show so far?
I think it's really a learning spectrum for both of us. I mean, you are not media trained, right?
No, not media trained.
And then you have to start off from being a sort of like podcaster.
Quite funny. I'm now a camera assistant sometimes.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, you probably have just a bit of experience. You know, I know you used to do the Fukit Banter podcast shout out as well. That was the only media kind of thing that you experienced in. And then to get you to be a podcast host, to become a presenter, to become a documentary person, and then my camera assistant as well. It's like, I mean, I give you a bit of flowers, make your shout look a bit like price spot. But yeah, I mean, for me, directing documentaries is a bit more different from what I used to do. So it's also something that I have to learn. And it's not as easy as asking guest questions. We sort of learned it the hard way, right?
Yeah.
We did get a bit of feedback, and sometimes we are not a bit focused in terms of the full episode. So there's a lot that goes into crafting the full episode on its own.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a whole new ball game for me because I cook. I cook literally. I don't like. It's not metaphoric term of cooking, but I think it's just for both of us. I think we just had they're both a very uphill climb.
So today we're doing this video is to update you guys, the viewers, on how we are going to be posting the Days Off series moving forward. We decided to go towards the volume/seasons kind of way of doing things.
I think Dabaoshow is kind of like a passion project to both of us, and as of now we are purely funding this by ourselves. We're not expecting much, but like, you know, it's still self-funded, and because of that we have our own things to take care of. Cash has his own work, and he also has to do quite a lot of editing for all the videos that we try to churn out every week. I still have my shop to run for myself as well. Well, we're not stopping the series in all matters, it's just we're going to take it a bit slower. We still want to continue this. I think we like what we're doing, and we hope you guys do like whatever we are churning out for you, and we'll keep this on no matter what. It's just that we're just going to take it slower.
Yeah, and in between season breaks, we will try to do a different kind of content as well, just to, you know, test the waters if, you know, both of us can carry our own videos rather than relying on guests.
I guess we're still learning, so we're still taking our time with this project. That's what I mentioned earlier, that we're not funded by anything. We like to keep it simple for us and make sure we enjoy what we do. It's just two of us, so we're just doing what we can.
Yeah, so we appreciate all those who have been supporting so far, you know, giving us a lot of feedback on how to improve and things like that. We are still in the process of building this brand, although we have to slow it down a bit because of things that we have to do realistically on our personal lives. But at the end of the day, we are also, like BK says, we are still learning, and we are trying to do this the best we can, and also to always provide the most real stories that we have from our guests and things like that. So you know, normally we don't ask for people to subscribe or things like that, but we do appreciate if whoever chances upon this to, you know, give us a little bit more support, and I mean it keeps us going. Yeah. So with that, we'll see you in the next video.